Hey up everybody, welcome to Monday morning, and what a nice day we've got. No rain, barely any wind, nice and cool, so let's go and enjoy this run. It's start of the taper week, so today's actually a normal run. I'm using the taper that's in the Norwegian Singles book, and for the half marathon Monday is just do what you normally do, which for me is the 60 minutes easy. So I'll get this done today, but after today everything changes. It's all different, so we'll go through that as we come across them each day. But in typical taper fashion, it's just reducing volume and keeping some intensity, keeping that fire going, ready for race day, because we're on the final countdown now, 6 days to go. So all this week it's just going to be final kit checks. What I'm doing today, the new camera, it's a little bit heavier than the old one, so when I wore it yesterday my hat was in a different position, and it was a different hat as well, with a slightly different seam to where it touches my forehead. And over the run I did, which were about an hour and 20 whatever, it did start to become a bit uncomfortable, and I've switched over to this one. It's got a bit more padding, and so far it's feeling great. So that's something else that I've sorted out before race day. I still haven't changed my mind about the shoes. Not yet. There's a chance. I might do. But I'm still going for the Alphaflys. Well, that's the run done. 60 minutes, nice and easy. We had good weather today, we had a nice run together, and we had a nice chat as well. I'm really interested to hear from you in the comments about those shoes. I don't know which one I'm going to pick, but it'd be really interesting to hear which one of those two you'd actually pick. Whichever I do pick, I'm not going to be disappointed. They're both amazing shoes. But let's talk about today's shoes. And today I had my Adidas Evo SLs on in the silver colourway, because these just put a smile on my face. These are fantastic shoes. If you don't actually own a pair of these yet, treat yourself to a pair. They're really sensibly priced. I think you can get them for about £120, and there's discounts available. But you can do anything in them, regardless of whatever your running ability is, or whatever your session, whether it's an easy or a hard interval session. These can do it all. But I've got to go now. I've got to get cleaned up and ready for work. So until tomorrow, I'll see you. Hey up everybody, welcome to Tuesday morning, and Tuesdays are session days. Normally on a Tuesday we'll be doing 4 by 10 minutes at sub threshold off 90 seconds, but this is taper week, so that's been reduced. That's now 3 by 10 minutes, and they're done at marathon pace, all off 90 seconds. And truth be told, I have no idea what my current marathon pace is, so I've put my recent time trial of my 5k I did a couple of weeks back at Grove Park Run into the VDOT calculator, and that's worked out an equivalent marathon pace for me of around a 4:14 a kilometre. So that's my target. I've done my warm-up. Let's go for a run. Right, good satellite signal and my heart monitor's connected. Let's get this done. First one done, and I'm struggling to get a regular pace. I'm either going way too fast or way too slow. Oh, too fast, and my heart rate's through the roof. I can't get these paces right today. The effort level is feeling much lower, but I can't seem to lock into that 4:14, 4:15, and my heart rate is absolutely through the roof for the effort level I'm doing. I'm running at a much lower intensity than what I normally do on these runs. And that's the last one done. And the heart rate was absolutely through the roof for the effort involved. How bizarre. I even did that last one a little bit slower as well, but the heart rate didn't drop. Finished. Right, let's have a look at this data. Well, that was unusual. What happened there? Well, I hit the pace targets. The session did go to plan. I had a pace target of 4:15 a kilometre, and that's where I was running. I think the quickest one were a 4:13 a kilometre, and the last one I actually backed down because the heart rate was creeping up too high, and I think that was a 4:16 a kilometre. I've no idea what was happening with that heart rate. I was running at a lower intensity than what I normally do, but that heart rate, that's the kind of thing I'd expect to see when I'm really pushing for it. But it's done. It was supposed to be a reduced effort, and I suppose it was because I only had 3 of the 10 minutes today instead of the 4, so that is reduced. Tomorrow it's an easy run, and that's a reduced easy run as well. Normally I do 60 minutes, but it is for a shorter time than that. I'll have to check on what time. I can't remember what it is. But before we go, let's just show you the shoes. And today I had my Nike Alphafly in the Volt colourway with the London monkey socks, because for my sessions this week I'm wearing my Alphaflys. I've got my Volt colours on for today. On Thursday I'll wear my Ekiden colourway, just to get in the feel of these things, so that when it comes to race day on Sunday and I put my race pair on, I'm just feeling ready for it. I've got no surprises, everything's right. So that's time for me to go now. So until tomorrow's whatever minute easy run, I'll see thee. Hey up everybody, welcome to Wednesday morning. And look at this absolutely beautiful weather we've got today. Hardly a breath of wind and the most glorious blue skies and a great big ball of fire in the sky over there. Absolute privilege to be running today. Really enjoying it. And with it being Wednesday, it's my usual easy run. Normally it's 60 minutes easy, but we're on taper week because on Sunday it's time to get serious and put the red mist goggles on and give it the beans at Wilmslow. And you know what? I'm feeling in the best condition of my life. I've never felt as fit as this, and it's a weird feeling because I don't feel stronger, I just feel more capable. It's like I can just get to a speed and just like diesel power. I can just get to a speed and just keep going and going, and that's exactly what I've done with my training. I've just massively increased my aerobic engine, and that's what running's all about. It's an aerobic sport. It's not speed and power. It's not thrashing out 60-second intervals, showing your mates that you can run sub 3 minutes a kilometre. If you want to do any of the popular race distances, 5k upwards, you need your aerobic engine. That means you've got to do a lot of easy runs, and you've got to work on that second turn point, and that's what Norwegian Singles is all about. I'm going to put a little graphic on the screen you might recognise. It's from Strava, so everybody should know that. Instead of my Garmin ones, I'll treat you to a Strava one. So that's my mileage graph, and to be honest, I've been mentioning mileage on my vlogs because that's what most people can get their head round, but I tend to work more on time, and my time on feet for all those weeks has been roughly about the 8.5 hours. The mileage has varied. Sometimes there's been a cool down that I've had to shorten, or a warm up where I've got somewhere late and not been able to do a full 21-minute warm up. But you can see the consistency every week, building them blocks every week, making them gains. If you look right at the start, you can see where I was gradually increasing those first 2 dots there. I was gradually increasing the distance or time on feet to be able to do the full Norwegian Singles, because I didn't want to go straight from the polarised system straight into 7 days a week running. That would be foolish. And then there's a dip. That dip there, that's when I had to do a taper for my lactate assessment, and that was quite a low volume week. And then since then, and I think that was the probably 3rd week of January when we did that. So since that taper week in January, I've just been day after day after day getting it done, and it's absolutely paid dividends. And the best thing is, all that time on feet, and you can see there distance, if you want to go by distance, I've been hitting pretty much a smidgen under 100 kilometres every week. And if I'd have tried that on the polarised system, I would have been injured by now, because that's way too much volume when you start including really high intensive sessions. But the Norwegian Singles, wow, I've never felt as full of energy as what I do now, or as capable. It really, really has transformed me running. Oh, here we go. Finished. Let's have a look. That's stopped for now. Time for me to go. I've got a load to do today, but I've got to show you the shoes. And today I wore my Nike Invincibles. Time for me to get going. I've got to get cleaned up. I've got to get out to work. So until tomorrow's session, I'll see thee. Hey up everybody, welcome to Thursday morning. And Thursdays are session days. Normally on a Thursday I'll be doing 6 by 6 minutes sub threshold, all off 90-second recoveries, but it's taper week. So today I'm going to be reducing that. We're going to do 8 by 3 minutes all off 60 seconds, and the first 5 of those, they're going to be marathon pace. The last 3 of those I'm going to go up a gear and I'm going to be running along at my goal half marathon pace. Typical taper, reducing volume but keeping some of the sparkle there. So warm-up's finished, let's go for a run. Right, good satellite signal, armband's connected, let's get this done. I nearly missed my watch then, I was too busy looking at that fuel price. First one done, nice and easy, marathon pace. That felt like a doddle, that did. Two down. This session is going to be over really quickly. This is going to be so easy, I can't even call it a session really. Four down, one more of marathon pace to do. What a breeze this is. Gosh, I hope race day feels this easy. That's the 5 easy ones done. Now I've got 3 a little bit more up tempo. I might have to work a little bit. One of the half marathons done, nice and steady. Heartbeat 153 on there. That's pretty much where I'd like it to be on the day. Going well. Seven done. Only one more to do. What a breeze this session's been. Feels so easy. Oh. I didn't start the camera then for the last one. I had to do a bit of traffic dodging. But last one felt super breezy and heart rate was actually 152 beats a minute. Well, that went super easy. Absolutely no problems there. The only thing that went a bit wonky was the very last effort. I didn't press the start on my head camera. I was too busy concentrating on avoiding traffic, but whatever, I got it done. The heart rate for the last one was really low. I looked at my watch at the end of it and it said 152 beats a minute, which is really low for me. It's right in towards the bottom end of what everybody calls zone 3. It's not even touching threshold area or sub-threshold area at all. So really pleased with that. That puts me in a good place, ready for the weekend, knowing that I've got that fitness there and knowing how easy it actually felt to run at those paces. Obviously, as the race goes on and I get onto that second half of the race on those uphill climbs, it's going to be a bit of a stinker and I'm going to have to put some work in, but I feel prepared. There's nothing more I can do. We just got a couple of really reduced easy runs now. I think they're just over 30 minutes on each day. So let's talk shoes for today. And today I wore my original Alphafly ones in the Ekiden colourway, because all my runs this week on my sessions I've been wearing the Alphaflys in preparation for race day. because I'm going to wear my other pair, my race pair, or I think I'm going to wear that pair. I may change my mind yet. It really is still close, but 99% I'm gonna wear me race Alphaflys. I've got a pair in the mango colourway, and every single time I've worn them at a race, I've managed to PB. So I'm gonna wear those. But it's getting late. I've got to get myself cleaned up and out to work. So until tomorrow, I'll see thee. Hey up everybody, welcome to Friday morning, and we're well into the taper now. It's a real short run today. Normally on a Friday I'll do 60 minutes easy, but that's been reduced right down to, I think it's 36 minutes. I'm just following the Norwegian Singles Approach book for the taper for a half marathon, and everything's going really well. I've got no aches or pains, no niggles, nothing to complain about. So I'm just feeling wound up like a watch. I just need to burn some energy off, and I know I can't, but that's tapers. That's how it's supposed to make you feel. Oh, I'm nearly finished. There we go. 36 minutes, all nice and easy done. Let's have a quick look at the watch. 6.41 kilometers, and that's with a really low heart rate of 113 beats a minute, I think it was. So I've got an identical run tomorrow, and then the day after that one is race day. So we're nearly there. After all these months of training, it's nearly game time. So before I go, let's just mention the shoes. And before I mention shoes, I just need to let you all know that being a Yorkshireman and accents being really strong, a lot of people could actually argue that my English isn't that good. And to pronounce the name of these shoes, you actually need to be able to speak Mandarin, because these, here we go, these are called the Dynafis Xiaonian, and everybody who's reviewed these, I've done a lot of research into them, they've really sung the praises of these shoes. And today was just me getting some footage for a first impressions video I'll be doing next week, and then after I've got the race, and the week after that we've got the Midlands relays, the 12-stage relays. As soon as the 12-stage relays is done, then I'll be doing my full week, the 100-kilometer full review of these shoes. But let's just have a close-up look at them. So there we go, Dynafis Xiaonian in the white colourway. Absolutely, look at them, they look gorgeous. And one thing that I've already really enjoyed about these shoes is the actual weight of them. For these shoes in my size, they are under 180 grams, which is incredible. So same as usual, run's finished. I've got to get cleaned up and ready for work. So until tomorrow's very last taper run, I'll see you. Hi up everybody, welcome to Saturday morning. And usually that means only one thing, but not today. Today, just doing a short local run, the very last run in the Wilmslow block before heading off in the car up to Wilmslow to the hotel. Before heading out this morning, I totaled up the mileage and the time on feet that I've done while I've been on the Norwegian Singles. Since then I have run just over 700 miles, which is 1100 kilometres, and it's taken me just over 100 hours to do that, and that is absolutely phenomenal, because I remember it wasn't that long ago when that was a yearly total, and I've just done that now in 3 months, and I've done it comfortably. How the singles approach works, it's just amazing how full of energy and recovered and rested I am for each and every one of those days, and it's put me in a really good place physically. I'm really in the best condition I've ever been in my life. So all that's left to do now is get this last little 36 minutes easy run done, get home, get cleaned up, put the case in the car and head off to Wilmslow to the hotel, ready for tomorrow's race, because it's game time tomorrow. Let's see what happens. I'm really looking forward to the race tomorrow. Let's have a look at this watch. Finished. There we go. Let me just lift this screen up. So that's it. The Wilmslow Half Marathon training block finished, done. I've got to get back. I've got to get myself cleaned up and ready. But before we go, we have to do shoes. And I brought these out again because I need to do a little bit more footage for the first impressions. And apologies to anyone that's a Mandarin speaker. But today I wore the Dynafish Zhonian. This is the second time I've worn them, and these are, I'm hoping, our first impressions. I'm really enjoying these shoes, but bit of a spoiler alert, I'm not just buying random shoes, I'm doing a lot of research first. But that's enough waffling on about shoes. I've got to get back, I've got to get up to Wilmslow, I've got to collect my bib from the race HQ. So until race day tomorrow, I'll see thee.